Who are you rooting for, Leo? Yeah, the Eagles, that's right.
Last week was the Super Bowl. It was the Chiefs versus the Eagles, and it was kind of a blowout game. It was like 24-0 after two quarters, but everyone still wanted to stay to watch Kendrick's and SZA's halftime show. I was purely looking for entertainment factor, like what songs are you gonna play? Is it gonna be hype? Like the whole Kendrick Drake feud. So after the game, my social media was flooded with people calling out the hidden symbolism, references, and messaging. There are images of a divided country, like references to the government's part in playing into cultural division. That recently my TikTok, and I'm trying to be better about using TikTok. My TikTok algorithm seems to be deeply aware of my recent disillusionment with the government, my cautious hope about growing class consciousness and after Free Luigi, and also revealed a part of the performance that I didn't catch was actually a dancer on the stage waving a Palestinian flag in front of one of the largest audiences in the world, including our current president.
No, 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 no! Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up!
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
Someone better squabble.
So, the streams of thought in this video are inspired by these themes and honestly is something that I've been reflecting about deeply. Politics is something that really matters to me because politics is literally what affects people's lives, and I'll say, like, I literally understand and know that it's easy to check out of topics like this, but I'm hoping, friend to friend, that my reflections on why this matters to me make this a little bit more personal and also just offer more space for understanding me and how I want to live my life. My first journal entry about all of this is dated November 15, 2023, and even when I was looking back, I thought it must have been 2024, but no, it has literally been like over a year. November 15, I haven't journaled about it yet, but 11,000 Palestinians have died in the Israel-Hamas war so far. On October 7, Hamas launched an awful and brutal attack on Israel. Since then, Israel has been relentlessly bombing Gaza, including places like schools and hospitals. Children have been the majority of casualties, and the number of children who have passed away in the last 3 weeks are equivalent to the number in the past 3 years of world conflicts. I definitely haven't been consuming as much content as I did with BLM, but the photos, stories, and videos are heart-wrenching.
هتشوفوهم دكاترة؟ حبيبي 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 تعال 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 جد طلب الدكتور حبيبي حبيبي سلام سلام تعال حبيبي نام هي نام.
In honesty with myself, I have shut out more than what I would hope. I like posts and try to uplift journalists on the ground, but I have not called senators or shared resources or attended rallies. What does an appropriate amount of action look like? Even if you care, do you actually, if you are not moved by it, to action? Wrestling with the uncertainty and guilt and selfishness of it all. With this, I have also been reflecting so much on what it means to be human and be connected to others and to be someone who cares about the world and the intersectional fight for all. This is actually a quote by Miss Kaylani. Who am I to the world? Who am I to community? Who am I to the rat race? Who am I to my children's generation? What is my role? If the people have given me what I have and got me to where I am, is it not the people to whom I owe? January 2024, I think, was the beginning of transformation a little bit for me. I started to change from feeling overwhelmed to feeling more action and community inspired. And I think something that really kicked that off was Motaz, the journalist. I think around January is when he actually left Gaza and was advocating for his country in front of the world. And something that he posted on his Instagram story was,
the first message is don't call yourself a free people, a free person, if you can't make changes, if you can't stop a genocide that is still ongoing since the first day. We are so close to be 100 days of murdering and genocide. So maybe you shared with your taxes to give it to the occupation.
I have now the guilt feeling that because I survived and like wearing good clothes, just like because I'm talking to the world, I need the world to understand that we are the same, we are humans. I'm not a content. What is happening in Gaza is not a content for you. We are not telling you what is happening, waiting for your likes or views or shares. No, we're waiting you to act. We don't want your likes. We don't want your shares. Just like spread the truth and go act, go protest. I know, like people asking me, what should we do? Why are you asking me to tell you what to do? I'm the one who's there, who's dying there. You should know better.
Another quote that I found, and I don't know who to attribute to, and I can't find it online now, is Americans can't free Palestine precisely because they haven't advanced their own liberation practice in any meaningful way. Palestine is closer to liberation than any of us. The American psyche is so self-consumed, it believes it has to be the hero. Resistance must be built. It is insulting, naive, and detached from history to think that you can jump into a liberation movement and shut it down. Study real resistance movements, current and historical. Intentionally organize with the oppressed at home. And I think this quote really woke me up because with the months that had passed, I was like, why is nothing happening? Like, my voice doesn't mean anything. Like, this is all so useless. And I think this quote just woke me up. Like, I only just recently learned of the conflict and I still don't even really know the history of it. And like, what do I think will happen? And from there, I was inspired to do the following things. Number one, I went to the library to support my local library and also just to pick up a bunch of books reading about Palestine and the history of the conflict and everything that's played out. And actually my timeline had been flooded with a lot of suggestions on what to read. And when I got to the library, I couldn't find the books I wanted and I was really confused. And that's when I realized that I couldn't find the books because they had all been checked out. Like, there were multiple copies on hold. And for me, it was so heartwarming to see, like, oh, there are other people out there that I don't know in my city who are caring about these things equally, that want to educate themselves, that see themselves as part of this commitment. It just, like, really, really touched my heart. And then also I started donating more to mutual aid organizations and to local organizations and GoFundMes. I activated an eSIM so that families on the ground could communicate with each other and that journalists could communicate out.
I bought this on November 16th and I've been checking it periodically and it always says pending, and I didn't know whether someone was using it or not, but now someone's using it and they're on day 6. And I think that was a small sign I needed to not feel as disconnected or feel like what I'm doing doesn't matter, because even if it's not a lot, something will happen over time with all the small amounts of collective effort we put in. So, yay! Time to go get another one.
And I'm saying all these things not to like pat myself on the back or give me a boost, but just to share some of the like extremely small daily concrete things I did that made me feel more a part of community, that made me feel less hopeless, and that continued to push me to be involved and not just to give up and like be guilty and like detached. I figured I might as well give a very quick, brief history. I read the book Israeli Apartheid by Ben White, and it was really illustrative. Essentially, in 1897, Zionism was created in response to European anti-Semitism. In the 20th century, there were 96% Palestinian Arabs in Palestine and 4% of Jewish settlers. And eventually, the United Nations voted on what is called the Palestinian Partition Plan, where they decided to give 55% of land to the Jewish state. That later became 78%. So this really happened through what is known as the Nakba, and I think that literally translates to the day of the catastrophe or memory of the catastrophe. And so what happened then was the destruction of towns and villages and the expulsion of 700,000 people. So that's actually 87% of Palestinians in what is now Israel expelled. There were a lot of tactics used, like control over territory, fear, humiliation, terror, burning of land, burning of houses, that really made return of the displaced impossible. And after that, there was another second day Nakba where 300,000 more people fled or were expelled from Gaza. So now a half of Palestinians are refugees and a third were living under military rule and apartheid. And that's the system that was kind of set up when everyone says October 7th is the day it started, but like really it's been a history of violence much longer than then. I got super thirsty doing all that talking, so we've switched locations. So to recap, like February, March, feeling good, feeling plugged in, feeling involved, and then time starts to pass. I go with Kamu to visit the Berkeley encampment when it was set up, because that was the wave of student solidarity and student activism and people building encampments, showing support. Also a wave of Zionist supporters who were attacking people on encampments and universities really cracking down. And by the time I hit, like, I think this journal entry is April, I was not feeling community inspired. I was actually feeling very uninspired and disengaged. And here I write, honestly, I've been feeling so numb and wanting to engage with content at the bare minimum level without feeling guilty. The news just keeps getting worse. There were 200 killed and a mass grave found at a hospital. Rafah was going to be invaded. I was feeling overwhelmed by the amount of mutual aid requests. I felt burnt out and mindless. But then the US House approved billions in funding to Israel and protests started again. Columbia students set up an encampment to pressure the university to divest from funding. The president, an Arab woman, called NYPD on students, arrested and suspended them. Students are putting their safety, education, futures on the line, and their faculty and community supporting them. I wonder, would I have joined if I were a student, or would I be too worried about self-preservation? I can feel my feelings, but how do I show up, engage, and resist as a practice? I'm feeling so disgusted by this country and the guise of freedom, parties that ultimately serve to protect the interest of the wealthy, and also the police resistance to challenge any opposition to this. In the year of 2024, I don't think I journaled about Palestine again, and honestly, I was just feeling so, like, it literally just felt like dystopia. I don't know how else to describe it. I would get TikTok, like, I would be numb and want to escape it, so I would get TikToks, but then I would get TikToks from Palestinians who use, like, clickbait videos where your brain, like, tunes in for the 2 seconds and then they pop up saying, like, oh, can you help us, and just stay and share and use the audio and interact, and the link is in the bio. And I would do all those things because it was like the bare minimum, but at some point my feed just started having so many people of it that I was getting overwhelmed, and I would just like swipe up and ignore someone, feel bad about it, keep brain rotting mindlessly, and then another person would show up and I would donate to that person because I felt bad that I skipped the previous one. And it just like felt insane to me. Like, no one I knew was really talking about the things that were happening. Even still, we were just like discussing things that I thought didn't matter. And I literally just felt enraged. Like, how is no one else seeing what I'm seeing, and like, how is life continuing as so? And it was just like, I was losing my mind. I was losing my motivation, and I was losing my encouragement, and I just wanted to check out, but I felt guilty about it, so I didn't. And it was just this perpetual cycle. And then it was November, and it was the elections, and it was time to vote, and I decided to take more action in my little own community. So I organized a voting party, which was really lovely. I put together news about all the propositions and asked people to show up and engage and ask them why they believed in voting or why they hadn't voted. And it was like, honestly, really cool to see people show up. Some people voted for the first time ever, which I thought was amazing. But the results were coming in, and Trump won.
The Trump world, and the young staffers, junior staffers, according to
Our easiest way to victory. On that note, let's check in with CBS Morning's co-host Tony Dokoupil.
Hey, good evening, Nora. While you all are characterizing the race there, I'll characterize the room in just 30 seconds. We've got...
And when Trump won, I like literally cried for like 3 days straight, maybe. I was feeling so discouraged. I feel like Trump literally ran on a platform of xenophobia and kicking immigrants out, and I think it just really hurt my soul that like half the country would vote for him and the values that he stood for. And I know I'm like slightly demonizing the other half, and like people did vote for him for business and believing that he would be the better solution to our economy. But yeah, that wave really just sent me down a spiral of like, oh my God, we're here 4 years again. My work was freaking out. Everyone was panicking about what would happen with all the cuts. And the first 100 days that he's been in office has actually honestly been really exhausting. And I keep reminding myself that he's like doing it on purpose, this like shock doctrine to overwhelm you, to make you feel powerless. And so because of all the waves of things were happening, I decided once again, I always keep coming back to this, is like the answer is just to lean in community. And I got to go to 2 really cool events, one for a Lebanon fundraiser by one of my friends, Ashley. What I found really inspiring about the event is that Ashley is not a community organizer. That's not her role, that's not her job. It's literally just that she has friends from Lebanon that she met during college that she was still close to and that she was hearing from. And so she decided to just pull together this event in this space in a pretty short amount of time, to be honest.
I'm not gonna try. Ahlan wa sahlan.
So I actually took Kelly, Namtai, and Rush with me, and I also DM'd a girl on Instagram that I know has been posting about Palestine, and it's really fun because that was the first time we like actually got to talk and introduce each other. It's just really affirming and cool to see that like if you put out a call to community, community will answer back. It was just really energizing, I think, to see and have that many people in the room together.
She got a print. It's so cute. And a shirt. And a shirt. And the shirt. Okay. I don't think it will. Oh, here we go.
It is Saturday morning, and I'm heading to Japantown to volunteer at a fundraiser for Gaza families. It's going to be really good and exciting to just meet people who also feel the same way and like care about the same things I do. And I've been wanting to volunteer in an event for a while, but it's always been kind of far, or like I've been busy. So I'm looking forward to it. Last night I literally got woken up by a tornado warning at 6 a.m. So we'll hope it goes well. I was supposed to go with Kelly, but I think she's still asleep. So we're going to this one alone. That was extremely short-lived. I realized when I got to the bus stop and I tried to check the information to make sure I was going to the right place that it is actually tomorrow, and that is perchance the reason Kelly was not awake. So now I'm back in the apartment. I'll just read for now. I went to the library for the first time in a while yesterday, and I picked up Poverty by America.
At the bus stop with Kelly now, because it is the correct day to volunteer. Oh, you did this yesterday too? Yeah. like by myself. I was like, yeah, it's really raining, it's really windy, Kelly's not here,
There's a
but
tornado
I'm still
warning.
going. Yeah. And Nunty's here too for good measure. Yeah, it's too funny. Yay!
Alright, thank you
Oh,
so
my
much.
crayons. They're so cute. Hello.
Hello there, ladies.
Thank you for coming. This event is with Coho, and we are fundraising for Gotham Families. So
We're trying to raise $8,000 to support 2 families here. So if you can donate $20 to the GoFundMe, that would be great.
thanks for coming in today. It's so off center.
I can't believe we won.
Kelly is swole ass. Huge. Oh, the guy did mine so off center. Ah, so tough. This is not avant-garde.
I can't believe he told you it was gonna be avant-garde.
It's more citrusy than I would think. So I am once again leaning into community, and I have certain people I love in my community. But I think this whole video, I am realizing it as I say it now, and I don't know if I knew this before, is like my bid to expand my community to see if anyone else out there who has made it watching till the end somehow is interested in talking about things with me, interested in volunteering with me, or who wants to go to events. And so yeah, if that's you, I would love to build my community. So hit me up. I like this quote I found. It's, in a time of hate, love is an act of resistance. In a time of fear, faith is an act of resistance. In a time of misinformation, education is an act of resistance. In a time of poor leadership, community is an act of resistance. In a time like this, joy is an act of resistance. Resist, resist, resist. After what is maybe...
I think I left at 7:30. It's been 3 hours. Wait, and you started
But I worked on it before that. After maybe 4 hours, it's finished. And it is adorable.